Greetings, ladies and gents. My name is Chameleon, and this is Pillars of Eternity. Welcome. So this will be the prologue of this game. I will be playing this game just when I feel like it. It will not be very concise with the uploads, because I have the other regular schedule that I have to uphold. But yeah, I really feel like playing this game. This was actually the first game that I wanted to play for my channel, but I just did not feel experienced enough at all. I have played this game a few hours and then stopped because I got the idea to play it for the channel. I got the whole idea of YouTube because I bought this game I think 2 weeks before I started out with YouTube. So I know the game a little bit, but I have no significant progress in the story. So yeah, and this is a prologue because this is mainly the character creation, which can take a lot of time. So if you are not interested in that, you can skip ahead to the next video. If you are interested to know more about this world, the races, the classes and everything, then stick around. And then you'll learn a bit about what this game is about, I guess. So, let's have some fun. Also, it could be that the beginning, the new game, before you create your character, you get an intro. So you certainly want to see the intro sequence. Here we go. Let's see, I'm gonna play it on... Let's just try normal difficulty. I'm not going to do any of the other... none of the other options, just normal difficulty.
Five wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
I feel so good right now. Oh, I love that voice. It's very good. I really like it. Okay, let's go. Okay, so here we are at the character creation, so you can skip the rest of the part if you want to. So, should I play as a male or a female? A woman's role in Eora is largely dependent on where she is from. In the Aether Empire, Valane Republics and the Durwood, women occupy many domestic, educational and organizational roles. They are the primary hunters, soldiers and leaders of the tribes of the Nazitak. In Erglavanth and Ixamital, women and men have more fluid social roles. In all societies, there are exceptions to the rule, and women can be found in a wide variety of stations and professions. So we of course want to know what the Valane Republics are. There we go. Wait, come on. Yeah. Valane Republics. A mercantile power and former colony of a larger, more ancient nation, Old Vela. The republics lie to the south of Durwood and Erglavanth, and are ruled by a duke elected by the Consulagli Essagia. Perfect. Flawless. A council of 14 dukes, including its 5 most prominent, the Duke's Bells. Then we also have the Durwood, a colonial nation founded by settlers from the Aether Empire. Following a series of conflicts with Aether, the territory became independent in 2672 AI, and is now ruled by a duke, who is elected by 7 earls that oversee its earldoms. Okay, and we have Erglavanth. A territory comprised of the forest southeast of the Bale River, populated indigenously by a group of loosely affiliated tribes, collectively known as the Glafalans, and governed by a council of its 6 most powerful tribes. Erglavanth is home to a large number of ruined Anguithian sites, which Glamthathans hold sacred. The ruins have been at the center of a number of large-scale conflicts with Derwoodian colonists, whose settlements often encroach on Glathanth territory and who frequently seek to plunder the ruins for their relics. Yeah, it will be a lot of talking and a lot of descripting, guys, but then you at least know what the game is about and a little bit of background story, I suppose. Besides, I have not played this game for 3 months and there's a lot of story to it, and I've forgotten so much about the background already because it's so deep and there's so much going on. The place of men in society varies from culture to culture. Cultures like Adair and the Durwood place them at the forefront of military, politics and heavy labor. Among the tribes of the Nazitak, men perform many of the homesteading and organizational duties. In Erglavanth and there we go again, Ixamitil, I don't know. Men and women have more fluid social roles. In all societies, there are exceptions to the rule, and men can be found in a wide variety of stations and professions. Now, the last time I checked, I'm a male, so let's just go for that. I'm a male. So, here we have the 6 races of Pillars of Eternity. We have the humans, the Amawa, the dwarves, the elves, the Orlans, and the godlike. So we go for humans, let's read. Humans, commonly called folk, are the most common race in the Durwood, the Aether Empire, Old Valeria, and the Valayan republics. Though not as large as the towering Amawa, humans are known for their strength and willpower. So we also have resolve and might here. Resolve reflects a character's internal drive, determination. That's an Undertale reference, by the way. Fearlessness and the emotional intensity they can project to others. It can be useful for mental intimidation, leadership, and convincing performances. In combat, it helps characters maintain concentration and contributes to the will and deflection defense. Then we have might. You know what? I'm not going to read all these things. You guys are not interested in that. It has nothing to do with the background. The Amawa. The mighty Amawa are the largest of the Kith races and are commonly found in or near oceans. Though not truly aquatic, they have an affinity for water, and many of their civilizations, such as the Rautai, are based on naval dominance. They are known for their unparalleled strength. I can imagine. So they're like aquatic giants, Goliaths, something like that. We have the dwarves. By virtue of land covered and number of colonies settled, dwarves are the most well-traveled race in the world. They are commonly found in the Durwood, the Valayan republics, and almost any colonized land. Dwarves are known for their great strength and tenacity. We have the elves. Elves are the dominant race in Erglavanth, and the white that wends, and are extremely common in the Durwood and Adair. Elves are known for their speed and intelligence, as well as a commonly isolationist nature. Okay, talking is difficult. Now we have the Orlans. Orlans are the smallest of the Kith races, though many cultures don't consider them to be civilized at all. Also notable for their large ears, two-toned skin, and hirsute bodies, Orlans are commonly found in Erglavanth, the Iximital Plains, and parts of the Durwood. They are known for their mental intensity and quickness. Okay, and then we have the godlike. The godlike are children of the Kith civilized races, who have been blessed with physical aspects associated with the gods, though some do not consider it a blessing. These aspects may take many forms and often come with mystical powers. Aberrant head shapes are typical, and godlike are unable to wear protective headgear, as it is near impossible to find anything that fits. Because of their unusual nature and their inability to reproduce, godlike are often viewed with fear and wonder. I can imagine. So I'm gonna go through all the races because yes, there are sub-races, and I want you guys to know about the sub-races as well. So we have the meadow folk with the humans. The most common humans in the Durwood, the meadowfolk, or Thirten, have lived in that area for almost 2,000 years. Meadowfolk traditionally live at the edges of elven forests, working the open plains, hence their name. Most humans in the Durwood are Thirten, and then they have an ability. Yeah, okay, that's not interesting. Ocean folk, the Kalbandra, originated near the equator on the other side of the globe and are currently the most widespread human group in the region. But they have also migrated to the far reaches of the world. Ocean folk are the dominant culture in the Valerian republics and are also common in the Durwood. And then we have the Savannah folk. Savannah folk, also known as the Netmen, come originally from just south of the equator, and with the exception of some groups that migrated north, have remained in the same location for over 10,000 years. The name Natlan literally means original. While quite common in Redcaress, savanna folk are not usually seen in the Durwood and the Verlaine republics. So what is Redcaress then? Let's take a look. What is Redcaress? Durwood's neighbor to the north. Redcaress is a nation firmly rooted in its Estosian faith. A fervor that took hold during the events of the Saints' War and remains even after the apparent death of Eothes. Okay, very well. So then we have the Aumaua. We have two different types. We have the coastal Aumaua. Viewed as a warlike race, the coastal Aumaua live in a mainland region along the coasts of the northern hemisphere. Lands they conquered by pushing certain meadowfolk, Netland, savanna folk, and Orland communities out. Their culture is more centralized and urban than their island cousins, though both groups are involved in seafaring. Coastal Aumaua are very rare in the Durwood, but those that do make the journey usually do so as mercenaries, bodyguards, or soldiers. Then we have the Island Aumaua. Island Aumaua originated in the Deadfire Archipelago, 1,000 miles south of the Verlaine republics. While physiologically similar to their coastal cousins, the coloration of Island Aumaua is starkly different, brown and yellow, contrasting to the coastal blue and green. Though still uncommon in the Durwood and surrounding environments, Island Aumaua are more commonly encountered there than coastal Aumaua, who are quite rare. When encountered around the Durwood, they are often laborers, fishermen, or sailors. So, the dwarves. We have the mountain dwarf, also known as the Aptapo, originated on the continent to the east of the Durwood and have spread through the area several times. Unlike the similarly diminutive Orlands, who are frequently subjugated, the Aptapo have always directly fought back threats posed by larger kith and opted to fortify their residences rather than move on. Mountain dwarfs are common in the Verlaine republics, but not seen as often in the Durwood and Redcaress. Okay, then we have the boreal dwarf. Most boreal dwarfs, also known as the... This is really challenging. Also known as the Inutenic, live in the remote southern island of Nasitak, where they share the rocky tundra and snow-covered forest with migratory pill elves and the coast-hugging ships of Aumaua. Like their northern cousins, Inutenic share an instinctive love of exploration. Boreal dwarfs are somewhat common in the Verlaine republics, but seldom encountered in the Durwood. And we have the elves. The wood elf. Wood elves, also known as the Skellerfolk, trace their beginnings far north of present-day Ader and have migrated south throughout the forests of the continent, now covering it all the way south across the equator. They are also believed to have migrated across the sea to Erglafanth. While physiologically identical to one another, wood elves from Ader are culturally different from those in the Erglafanth and consider themselves wholly different groups. Yes, and then we also have the Pale Elf. It is unclear exactly how long ago the Pale Elves, also known as the Glenfallen, came to the southern polar region of the world, but they had lived there for at least 12,000 years, based on their continuous contact with Aumauen traders. They appear to be among the most stationary ethnic groups in the known world, migrating within the polar regions but seldom venturing far north. They are rare in all northern lands, and most people consider them exotic, if they have seen one at all. Indeed. So then we have the Orlands, which are three again. We have the Hearth Orlan. Hearth Orlands are also found as slaves in Redcaress and the Verlaine republics. One of the treaty terms between the Durwood and the people of Erglafanth was the liberation of Orland slaves, and while this has been honored, many Hearth Orlands continue to live in the Durwood as indentured servants. Okay, then we have the Wild Orlan. Wild Orlands are the original Orlands who lived in the deepest forests and jungles between the tropics. While they have only been significantly separated from Hearth Orlands for 1,000 years, a few genetic differences have appeared rapidly, most notably a lack of facial hair in the Hearth Orland branch. Wild Orlands are common in the deep reaches of Erglafanth. Unlike their Hearth Orland brethren, they are not often seen in the Durwood, Redcaress or the Verlaine republics. And yes, these are like the little hairy monkeys, and the other one are bald monkeys. Nah, I wouldn't call them that. Orlands are cool. They really are cool. They're like even smaller than dwarfs, but it's like a mixture of elves and dwarfs, I guess. Really interesting. And then we have the godlike. The godlike are they're awesome. I really find them awesome. Death godlike. The death godlike are the most distrusted of their kind. Strange growths cover their eyes, or in some cases entire face, giving them a sinister appearance. The growths are transparent for the godlike, but opaque from the outside, hiding their features. Death godlike are commonly killed at birth because many cultures consider them to be harbingers of doom. The fire godlike. The bodies of fire godlike often resemble hot metal, burnt wood, or stone, with harmless flames that erupt from the cracks in their skin. Fire godlike are objects of both reverence and fear in the Deadfire archipelago. Many locals believe that they have the power to awaken volcanoes, or that killing one will cause a volcano to awaken. In the Durwood, fire godlike are often seen as a sign of the blessing of Magran, goddess of war and fire. So, let's see if we can find anything more about Magran. Goddess of war, fire, transformation, purification, consumption, and trials. Patron goddess of the Durwood, thought to have blessed the Godhammer bomb that destroyed Waven and possibly Eothas. Godhammer bomb. That doesn't sound good. The moon godlike. The moon godlike are the most tolerated of the godlike. While their skin tone and a large moon-like growth on their foreheads may be strange to some, their appearance are generally considered more palatable by the other kith. Sailors have many beliefs about moon godlike and their propensity to bring luck, though there is little agreement as to what kind of luck they tend to bring. Indeed. And then the last one, the nature godlike. Nature godlike appear to be a fusion of human and animal features, often covered by plants, moss, or fungi. This has led to the common stigma that they are diseased, and many are killed at birth because of it. Many druidic orders have a keen interest in nature godlike because of their general curiosity as to how souls occupy animals, plants, and stones. So, those are the races. And I'm just gonna pick a human for now. I just want to read on to the next things. I'm not entirely sure yet what I want to pick anyway. So I'm just gonna go for everything that I can tell you guys about the game and the background of the game. And then after that I'll create my character. So let's see, we have the barbarians. Brutes, madmen, berserkers. Though city-dwelling people often use the term barbarian with a dose of disrespect, these rural warriors are respected by their communities for their ferocity and fearsome presence on the battlefield. Barbarians have a special, almost religious role in some cultures, but in many places, the undisciplined, fearless style of the barbarian is simply how warriors conduct themselves. Very well, now I have the paladin. Paladins are martial zealots, devoted to a god, a ruler, or even a way of life. They can be found in any culture where a fanatical group of like-minded individuals have formed a warrior society dedicated to advancing their cause. Among those aligned to their worldview, paladins are viewed with respect and admiration, if a bit of fear. Many paladins hold leadership positions in armies and mercenary companies, but in the heat of battle, their fanaticism often overrules the chain of command and common sense. In every culture across Eora, there are chanters. Many historians consider chanters to be the most ancient workers of magic, their hallowed phrases stirring the collective memory of wayward souls around them, compelling them to generate magical effects in a kind of reenactment. In some societies, chanters form organized groups of storytellers and researchers, but in the most parts of the world, they are just a time-honored part of local folk traditions. Priests are devoted of Eora's deities and practitioners of religious magic. While all priests dedicated themselves to specific gods, priests' power is actually derived from their personal beliefs. In contrast to most paladins, priests tend to focus on philosophy, teaching, and the relationship of religious organizations with common folk. The reception of priests is in any given part of the world depends largely on how their god is revered, or reviled, by the people who live there. So then we have the cipher. A recent discovery in the Eastern Reach, ciphers were once called Bristhalwalkin, mind hunters, by the Glafathans. Ciphers have the ability to directly contact and manipulate another person's soul and psyche, using an ally's or enemy's essence as the focus for their magic. Though most ciphers are still found in the Eastern Reach, participants of the techniques have spread throughout the known world. They are gaining acceptance over time, but are generally distrusted, especially by the uneducated. The Ranger. Rangers are warriors of the woodlands and master of the hunt. Always partnered with soul-bonded animal companions, they can be found in wild spaces all over the world. As their lifestyle often tends toward independence and isolation, it is rare for rangers to become an integral part of a large fighting force, though they are often employed as scouts and guides. The Druid. Animists at heart, Druids tap into the spiritual power that flows through the simple living things of Eora, plants, animals, and sometimes even living stone. While not necessarily religious, Druids do have a reverence for the natural world and a keen interest in understanding its mysteries. In most cultures, Druids are understood as a sort of primal magician, but among the Glyphadans, Nazitaki, and many rural cultures, they may have high positions of influence and authority. We have the Rogue. Rogues are vicious killers, feared for the brutality of their attacks. They can be found as often in dark back alleys as the heart of battlefield skirmishes. Though unpredictable and undisciplined, rogues are commonly used as shock troops, or as part of a surprise assault, their withering attacks breaking enemy ranks and morale. Rogues tend to congregate in large numbers in cities where they can be steadily employed as mercenaries or hired muscle. We have the Fighter. Fighters from the front line of disciplined armies across the Eastern Reach. Though they are most commonly found in cultures with an organized martial structure, fighters can also be encountered as wandering mercenaries, bodyguards, and other types of sellswords. The common element that undefies fighters is their heavy focus on endurance and melee defense. Then we have the Wizard. The masters of academic magic, wizards are students of arcane tradition that stretch back beyond the boundaries of recorded history. Wizards are a highly organized group, often forming academies or guilds devoted to research and development in magical studies, and tend to favor environments where inquiry, experimentation, debate, and the dissemination of knowledge are encouraged. Many accomplished wizards eventually become known for their eccentricity, their egos, and their unquenchable interest in all things arcane and occult. Then the last one is the Monk. Monks belong to a variety of fighting orders that have sprung up in Ixtlamitl and the Eastern Reach over the past few centuries. While many monastic orders can trace their teachings to the enduring founder, Tetlak, individual organizations vary greatly in their focus, morality and ethics. Common folk respect the incredible discipline of monks but see them as an odd, unpredictable bunch who may not be entirely sane. Even mercenaries and other adventurers aren't sure what to make of them. So those are the classes. I've decided to be a druid. I'm an elven druid, and when you do choose a druid, you get the ability Spirit Shift, which means that I can transform into an animal. I can choose the bear, the boar, the cat, the stag, or the wolf. And I've chosen the wolf because I like wolves. And what this does, not only will I transform into a wolf, well, not really a wolf, it's more like a werewolf. I will still be standing on my legs. At least that is what I have seen from pictures. And I can knock enemies prone, which means they cannot take action for a certain time. So that's really nice. Yeah, I'm going to be a spirit-shifting wolf druid elf. So I have chosen for this setup, don't ask me why, but these are my attributes. A might of 18, constitution of 10, dexterity of 10, perception of 16, intellect of 14, and a resolve of 10. Now might is influencing how much damage I do. Does it even matter if it's physical based or arcane based? Constitution is amount of health, dexterity is, well, quickness, how much I hit or miss, for example. Oh, and action speed as well. Perception is interruption, accuracy, and reflex. Can I interrupt other guys? Can I even hit other guys? Can I dodge out of the way? Intellect is the area of effect, how wide it is, but also how long my spells are in effect. And we also have resolve here, which is 10, concentration, deflection. So that is how focused I am, and also again how much I can dodge. So yeah, I've chosen perception, even though it's not really highly recommended for a druid. I like perception because, you know, seeing things, it's elven-like, and I just like resolve is much more strength, and I'm here and I'm better than you. Well, perception is more, it's more wit, it's more little details, and I like that. So now we have to choose a culture. So let's see, the Aedair. The Aedair Empire is currently the largest and most powerful force in this part of the world. It is centered around the equator and has a tropical climate. Though the Empire has colonies in numerous areas of the world, Greater Adair is at the heart and houses the majority of its human and elven nations. Okay. The Deadfire Archipelago, consisting of the nation of Nazitak, dozens of Amawa settlements, and hundreds of lawless pirate-infested islands that stretch along the southern sea. Deadfire is home to boreal dwarves, Amawa, and a mixed variety of other races. Deadfire Archipelago is the last stop for anyone headed east. A multitude of monstrous sea creatures infest the ocean beyond, making travel virtually impossible. The Ixamital Plains. Located to the northeast of Erglavanth, the Ixmital Plains are a large expanse of fertile savannas that are extensively farmed by human and Orlan residents. The Ixamital culture is one of the oldest in the world, though one of the least imperialistic, having spread out little over the past several thousand years. Okay. Old Vela. Once the crown jewel of the southern seas, Old Vela is now the crumbling remnants of an empire of warring merchant nations. Counting many humans and dwarves along their ranks, the Old Velayan countries are still forces to be reckoned with and are proud of their rich cultural heritage. The Rautai. Dominated by the Amawan nation of Rautai, the Gulf itself is host to a number of nations, most of them Amawa, Orlan and Dwarven. Though these countries are relatively young, they are some of the most advanced colonial settlements in the east. The Gulf is a land of riches and resources for those who can take them, though the entire coast is often pummeled by violent storms. The Living Lands. The Living Lands is the mountain region of a large northern island renowned for its diversity of plant and animal life. Its weather is unpredictable and its ecosystems vary dramatically from valley to valley. The Living Lands are home to an assortment of races in a variety of colonial and independent settlements. And the last one, the White That Wends. A large cracked southern expanse of polar ice, the White That Wends is home to pale elves and small colonies of daring explorers, outcasts and adventurers. While virtually no plant life grows in the White, it is home to many hardy species of dangerous animals that forage from the sea or prey upon each other to survive. Now, what fits my character most would be the Living Lands, the old ecosystems, and you know what, I'm a biologist myself, as some of you guys might know, so this is perfect. Just gonna go for this. The Living Lands. Oh, right, now I have to choose a background as well. So I can be a colonist. You are part of a group that founded a fledgling colony in a distant land, or a drifter. You never quite fit in no matter where you go. Each new town is just a place to rest briefly before moving on to the next. You are more comfortable on the road, traveling the world. Explorer. You find the siren call of the horizon irresistible. You cannot help but wonder what lies beyond the next hill or wave, and you've built your life around finding out. The Hunter. You live for the thrill of the chase. Whether for glory or for sustenance, you have made your living taking the lives of wild creatures. We have the Laborer. Your life was spent in the study of your craft. You trained and prepared, hoping to hone your skills and ply your trade. The Mercenary. Blade and battle is your way of life. You solve your problems by pulling out your weapon and applying force. The Merchant. You've traded goods from all over the world, pairing items with buyers of all kinds. And the Scientist. The rules that govern the world are a set of alchemical formulae to you, waiting to be discovered and manipulated. Now, what would fit my character again the most would be... Let's take a look. I think the colonist, maybe. Because I'm not a hunter, I do not kill the animals. No, absolutely not. Unless it's really necessary. Yes, I'm gonna pick the colonist. I founded a colony. So, let's finish up my character. Alright guys, this is my character. This is what he looks like. Ah, now I need to pick a voice. Interesting.
Hey there.
Okay guys, I've chosen for this voice. Here it comes.
I shall lead us. Let us end this. Silence surrounds me.
Yes, this will be the voice of my character. And of course the name of my character will be... Chameleon. And this one completely fits. So, that was the character creation and the background of Pillars of Eternity. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And I will be looking forward to see you all in the next video of Pillars of Eternity.